No other YouTuber right now is doing that. And they're not thinking about it as a business.
Now you just ruined it. Now
Yeah.
Put the secrets out, man.
Our big
The
secret.
secret to success. Like.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Q Up, the official podcast of Team Envy, where each and every week we take you through the world of esports and gaming with the people who know it best.
If this is your first time listening, we post new episodes every Monday on all of our podcast channels for the audio version and video version Wednesdays on youtube.com/teamenvy.
I'm your host, Jay Hairston. This is our co-host.
Hey, I'm Justin Rojas.
And we have two special guests today, Preston and Reed.
What's up, guys?
Guys,
How's everybody doing?
Do you guys have last names?
I didn't even notice the T when we walked in, but that's actually a nice
Is that a part of
touch.
the aesthetic?
This is me. This is how I keep my
He's a man of
Nice
culture.
touch. I like it.
Ooh.
God, I don't have a coffee.
Pinky's out,
I
though.
feel left
Yeah,
out.
where's
I can't.
all
I don't know if I can hold this teapot with a pinky out. It's like a weird shape. There into my Dragon Ball mug. Okay.
This is what all gamers are missing, clearly.
Yeah,
Everyone got a fresh
We need to.
beverage? We good?
Yeah, we're good. Excited
Right
to be
on.
here, guys.
So for anyone who hasn't been on YouTube in the past 7 years, who are you guys?
I'm Preston, commonly known as PrestonPlayz, TBNR frags. Many names I go by, I guess you could say. Been making YouTube videos for a long time, like a decade now, almost. I was actually checking out my TBNR frags channel, and it was created in November of 2010. And that wasn't even my first YouTube channel. I think I had like two others before that. And I was like, man, I'm getting old.
And you have how many channels now?
How many do we have? I think we have, if you count all the ones we're currently managing, it's like 6.
Dang.
But like the ones that I primarily produce content for, it's 4.
Okay. Gotcha.
How to make YouTube a big business. That's what it is. Multiple channels, multiple personalities. And
Yeah.
you forgot Roblox, Preston Roblox.
Well, Preston
Another one,
Roblox,
yeah.
that's another one. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it too.
Going to be Preston Apex, Preston Fortnite.
This is
just
never gonna
every
end.
new game that comes
Preston
out. it's
Water.
Yeah.
Make
everything.
reviews on water bottles.
You got to get those
Preston
usernames
Slime.
early, though.
I know. I should have gotten them
We
earlier.
gotta be ahead of the curve.
URLs.
I talk about how I bought a username on Twitter at Preston is what I have. I bought it for less than 1 Ethereum back in the day.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That wasn't a Twitter play. I thought that I honestly thought that was just like Twitter being like, "Here you go, buddy. You've been doing real well."
I wish
Take
they were
this.
that nice.
Well,
that
we
would
got-
be awesome.
We got Envy. So in our like esports partnership
yeah.
with Twitter, they gave us just plain ENVY, which is like pretty legit. You can't even get
That's it.
a 4-letter username. You can't register for it.
We're special.
No.
So
That's awesome. We don't
That's
have that
pretty
kind of
sick.
clout. Why don't we have that kind of
mean,
clout?
Rishi doesn't like us.
Hey,
Hey, Rishi, if
Love
you're
you,
watching
Rishi.
this, Rishi, give us something.
great. Thank you for all the help, Rishi. Don't listen to these guys.
Reed, what do you do, man?
So I am Preston's manager. I'm the talent manager for a few other people that your fans may know. Typical Gamer, Mr. Beast. So I've worked in this industry about 5 years. I got started with Dude Perfect 5.5 years ago when they were pretty small, 1.7 million subscribers. Saw them go from 1.7 to about, now they're at 38. So it was an exciting ride for them. And I've been in the industry now, like I said, for 5.5 years, and it's been a lot of fun.
So you just foster success then. You have all these like...
It's more or less like I'll leech onto Preston, let him do his thing, and then I'll help him either
just
grow
milk him dry.
businesses, monetize.
Pretty much.
Yeah. We're all over the board. It's been a lot of fun. So I'm blessed.
Well, the interesting part about it is people don't really know that Dallas is like this super awesome hub for gaming and entertainment now. And you guys
It
are
is.
Dallas or locals as well.
I'm native. Yeah,
I'm native
native.
also. So, and you've been here for a while, and
Yep.
Dude Perfect was here out in Frisco. So, like,
Yep.
Dallas is where it's at, guys.
I mean, look, LA's really cool. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, Dallas is pretty poppin'. You know, we got a lot of special things about it. All right. I mean, I think lower cost of living, you know, not as much taxes. And it's just a cool place.
The barbecue? Can we talk about the
Yeah,
barbecue?
the barbecue, the
barbecue,
meats.
the
People are
airports.
nice, very nice.
Very
People are
nice.
nice in LA too, but
Yeah.
you can have a lot more conversations, I think, with just people off the streets randomly.
But do you actually get to see these people? I feel like most of your time is spent online.
That's true. Unfortunately, most of my time is spent more like in a cubicle,
Yeah.
like a box recording videos in front of a camera, just like this actually. So I feel very much at home.
So you're putting content out every week on these multiple channels. Walk us through like what is like a day in the life of Preston?
Oh, that's a really good question and a good video I should probably do here soon. So it used to be a video every day for the 4 channels that I put content out on. That was very strenuous. We did that for, I want to say 3 or 4 months in 2018. It was crazy.
Wow.
I don't think we really didn't sleep.
When I first started working with Preston, you were making 15 videos a week, 20 videos a week. He didn't sleep. Like I would talk to you at 11 o'clock at night before I would go to bed and you would still be filming videos. He was sleeping at the office on a mattress.
I was. I actually had one of my editors when his first day when he started, I was like, hey, I'll be asleep right here in the office. You can just wake me up when you get here and then we could begin like your first day. And he was like, okay.
Justin can relate to that, right?
What, sleep in the office?
Yeah, he got a little futon.
I do. I
I
actually
get some use.
intentionally bought a like IKEA couch that can convert into bed because, well, I also live in like Little Elm, which you're
boy.
like it's not close to downtown Dallas
What's
where we
that,
are
like,
right now. It's
An
like
hour,
it's like a
15 from the
if
office?
there's traffic, yes.
Yeah.
And so on certain nights,
Brutal.
Just chill out of the
So
office.
you were
take a nap.
working, he was playing. You passed out from work exhaustion. He passed out from a different exhaustion.
I think every YouTuber can like, I don't know, probably relate to this, but the struggle of like work-life balance, especially sleep balance for me, because I generally don't need a lot of sleep to function pretty well. So for me, I can go to bed like at 4 and get up at 8 and like I can still get through like the rest of my day. Not the greatest thing to do, but I can still get through it. So I live like kind of like you, like I was like 30 minutes away at a place in Fort Worth and I was like not liking the commute to where I worked. And it was just like, rather just pass out on a mattress and I'd wake up and there was a gym 30 seconds away. I'd go in every morning and shower and they'd be like, what is this kid up to? He just comes in here and showers and doesn't even work out.
I mean, I guess this is technically office number 2 that I've put a couch bed in my office. So I used to work at Funimation, which actually that's where we first met. Actually, all 3 of you,
Everybody at the table, yeah.
Funimation
Yeah.
old family. Woo.
Shout out to Funimation.
Anime.
Yeah, anime, great. But yeah, that was out in Flower Mound, Grapevine area, which is not too close either. And so I'd pass out at the office there. But this work-life balance is such an important thing because it seems, obviously, if you're living online and you're seeing what you do, it's a constant grind and people don't know how much work goes into the videos you put in. So how have you been able to maintain this for 10 years?
That's a really good question. I still don't think I've fully mastered it. I'm trying to get to the point where you build the team out well enough and that you trust them enough to do a great job. And the people I have in place right now are phenomenal. But I just feel like it's still not big enough to fully like help me get through my, day within 10 hours. It's still usually 12, 14 hours. The beginning, it's really hard. I mean, like we said, we had to downscale our videos and we found out that like putting out less videos was just better overall and more high quality videos. So most of the channels now operate on anywhere from like 2 to 4 videos approximately. And like it'll go up and down depending on like the needs. But like you were saying, YouTube's a very creative outlet. And if you're not continuously like keeping up with trends, changing your content, you sometimes have to change your personality slightly depending on like what the audience really wants to see. It's a lot to do. And I think that's why you see a lot of YouTubers who kind of like have fallen off. And it's because they don't really want to change with YouTube. And, it's a struggle, but and the work-life balance too. I think they even did a spotlight on that with the YouTube Creator Studio. Like you could see that and like, how to manage this. And they had creators come on and talk about that. And it's still not even something that I've really managed to figure out how to get by. But I definitely think that when you've built your YouTube business to a certain point, finding those key essential people that you really trust to get the job done well. Like I love my head editor and he manages 2 other editors that work for us. And he's a rock star. I mean, he stayed till 10 p.m., even midnight sometimes just to get videos done, which is crazy because he's really invested in the work. And then now we have a content manager and he basically goes over the schedule, looks at like the thumbnails, the titles for the videos, and then a creative planner who plans out a lot of the ideas, which still makes it to where I still like, instead of working 16-hour days, kind of can cut back to 12. So it's definitely helping. But building out a good team is, I think, super essential if you want to have that work-life balance.
So you're married, correct? And you're a gamer. Those 2 things usually don't mesh. Talk to us about.
And then you throw
Yeah.
YouTube life
on top of that?
Yeah. How do you make that work?
Oh, that's a really good question. A lot of prayer, to be honest. But the good thing about my wife is she was an ER nurse. So she was used to like 12-hour long shifts. And she's just a boss to begin with. And she had a lot of background in like musical theater and she was really passionate about performing. And so when she was just kind of naturally ingrained into our videos, she was like, this is really fun. I was like, you could start your own YouTube channel. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. And then she started to slowly get into it. And she's like, oh my gosh, this is way more fun than like, being a nurse. And nurses are awesome, but let's be honest, they're underpaid and they are overworked. So she was like, this is a blast. So now she's got her own channel. She got, I think she's had 600,000 subscribers in 2 months.
Wow.
She's top 5 female gaming channel. Right?
Yeah.
nuts.
Ridiculous.
And
Ridiculous.
she loves
Killing
it. So that balance is pretty hard at the beginning though. I'm not gonna lie. When we were doing the 28 videos over the summer every week, there wasn't a lot of wifey time, to be completely honest with you. But I think just bringing your wife or your girlfriend or fiance, whoever it is, into your I don't know, like your gaming space is really fun because I love her, but man, she's really bad at games. Like,
So she wasn't a gamer like when you guys met. You had to like convert her.
oh, I had to convert
You
her.
had to
She'll
show her the
say
light.
she played Nancy Drew, and that's like her gaming experience.
what?
Hey.
I was like,
Nancy Drew.
I was like,
foreign
Apex and
reference.
Fortnite is a little bit different than that. Trying to get her to craft a sword still in Minecraft can be a little bit of a struggle.
But mysteries, she can solve them.
Yes,
Okay.
she can solve those mysteries. She's very proud of that.
Yeah. Her content's really good. I'll give it to her. She does a good job.
Oh yeah, she's definitely really good when it comes to the entertainment. Now, if I can just get her to learn how to get a kill in under an hour in Fortnite, I think we're off to a really good start.
So we were talking before the show. Reed's gaming. Does that
here we
leave
go.
time for gaming? Like with
There-
all the work that goes into this?
There used to be a lot more time. I'll be honest with you guys. Sunday we finished up like a little earlier than I had expected. It was like 5:30 p.m. and it was still daylight. And I was like, what do we do? I was like, this is so like
Should I
abnormal.
game for fun?
Yeah, I was like, I really just want to go play some games for fun. But then the wife was like, we should watch a show. And I was like, okay, we'll settle for that. But there's a lot of times where I do just want to chill at the office and just play some games for fun. And not that it's not fun to create content, but it's totally different when you don't have to talk and you don't have to think of creative things to do while you're performing for that video. And it's just like, let's just veg out and play some Battle Royale or whatever it is that you want to enjoy.
Yeah.
So-
Most of our business meetings actually are us playing Dota at this point. I am awful, but that's kind of how we conduct our business is he'll be like, hey, jump on Dota, get in the Discord, and we'll play 3 games and just talk business the whole time.
I
It's
think
an
it
interesting
helps.
strategy.
It helps
Can we
retain
adopt
information.
that? Can we adopt that? In the,
I
in the
don't
office?
adopt Dota though. Like
Not
yes.
Dota.
Oh my God.
Come on.
Switch a
We have
different-
standards.
But what game? Okay, what game could we effectively play in the office and have realistic like business conversations? Because in Overwatch,
You're
no,
pretty
no
aggro.
way.
You're aggro. Like
Too
you're
much
aggro as a
going on.
boss.
It's gotta be a battle royale. It really does. And it
Yeah,
depends on
yeah.
like it depends on how you retain information. I'm really good at retaining information when I'm doing something at the same time. So if I'm just sitting there like this and I'm listening to a call, I won't really retain the information. But if I load up like Apex or something like that and I'm just like gaming, I soak it in way more. Plus,
Yeah.
like you're like sitting there looting, you know what I mean?
I feel like Apex, yeah, Battle Royale, like Apex, I think would be.
You
wonder what
hop
that
in
is.
games
Okay.
fast too.
Lot
So
of
if you
downtime.
die, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Could it be
and-
because there's like a visual, like there's a visual attached to the audible that you're hearing?
I think so.
So you're like, I remember where I was when I was shooting that guy, and they said there's a meeting on Monday. Like I remember
Well,
that.
and keep in mind, like I'm feeding in Dota as we're talking, so it's not like I'm focused on the game. I kind of let him carry, and then I'm just in lane, just feeding.
More
to
like you just
someone,
make it harder to
making
pay attention
notes
to the
and, like,
conversation and the game.
It's really difficult for me. So we switched to
It's a mess.
Apex, and it's been a lot easier.
What do you guys think of Apex?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It really brings back like the old feels of Call of Duty. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously it's made by, similar teams. So, I mean, it feels really good. It's smooth. It's fun. It's all about that gun on gun action.
All right, so here's the big question. This is what makes it a game changer for me. I'm not very good at BRs. So when I die in Apex, I still have a chance to keep playing.
Mhm.
Like, is that a big difference for you in playing a battle royale where you can actually get revived?
I think so, and I think Fortnite's going to adopt it. They said they are not going to, but I think they will in season 8.
I think a lot of people are really liking it. I
Yeah.
see a lot of YouTubers tweeting about it and they're just like, oh, I'm so tired of getting thirsted. And then my perspective is like completely over. And I mean, if you have a wife who's not good at video games, it's really handy. I have the respawn beacons 3 times a game minimum.
Well, and think about like Apex is an esport now. It's more or less like what's the best thing about MOBAs and BRs. Like you actually have abilities now for certain characters. Fast forward 6 months from now, there's probably going to be 25 characters to choose from. And you're actually going to see it as an esport, and people are going to counter pick characters based on what other teams are choosing.
Right.
So I think as far as BRs
That's kinda
becoming
like
an
Rainbow,
esport,
right?
Yeah, this is like the BR that could potentially be a viable esport.
And you talked about the abilities for someone like me who sucks at battle royale games. I can still be valuable. I pick Bloodhound and I'm like tracking stuff. I can go
Yeah.
into a village and be like, nah, this is clear. We're good. We're good. Or I pop that whatever the crazy beast mode thing is where everything goes black and you could see everybody. I'm like, ping, ping, ping. They're over there. Go get them, guys.
The pinging
I die.
system?
So awesome.
But
Really
they kill
good.
them.
The best pinging system of any game. I was playing Anthem last night, actually, and me and my cousin were playing, and I was, God, I want to ping. Like, here's where the enemies are. Why isn't this working?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it actually evolve. We got to play it. So Preston and I flew out to LA and we were able to play it a week before it came out.
Oh, it was really hard to keep that a secret, not to
Oh.
mention the fact that the game was so addictive and we just were eating ramen and I was like, can we just go back and play some more? Like limited
hours.
opportunity to play with just a bunch of YouTubers and testers.
I sat there for 8 hours and watched you guys play.
It
And
was
I didn't get
great.
to touch a mouse or keyboard that whole day. And I had to watch them play.
So here's a question for a content creator playing Apex. If you're solo queuing and you die, do you wait for the potential respawn or do you just quit your game and start a new one?
If you're having a business meeting, you probably just quit and just done. But like if you're going for some content, I mean, you can get some really good videos where like teammate revives you and he's like a god at the game and you're like, I died, but my teammate did this and this happened. And people are like, what happened? I want to watch the video.
And then you're just like reacting. You're like watching.
Pretty
it with
much.
the
And you're
audio.
like, thanks for the free video, bud.
It becomes a reaction video.
Yeah,
that's
that-
interesting.
The last video that you uploaded with Kenny and I, we both died twice. Kenny and I weren't in the whole game and we ended up winning at the end. Preston kept reviving us and
I
then we
think
would
it-
die and then we ended up winning.
It was ridiculous.
So you
I
took after your wife in a sense. You were the nurse.
I was the
Seriously,
nurse.
I was just sitting there the whole game and he just kept reviving and then I died, revived.
There were so many beacons, guys. I
It
think
was
I used
awesome.
every one on the map.
But it made for great content.
It
So
did,
it worked
it
out.
did.
Okay.
What's up?
Works.
So how do you feel making videos about, so currently predominantly Minecraft and Fortnite currently?
Yes.
Is that correct? How do you feel like you're missing out on other games?
You know, that's a great question. Fortnite being like one of the biggest games right now and creative's really popping off and that feeds into my creative side. I love playing Minecraft maps for my channel, which was PrestonPlayz and has been rebranded. We've been doing real life content on it for 3 months now and it's been performing much better than our Minecraft content.
Interesting.
We still have a secondary Minecraft channel, which is about to hit 1 million as well. We started it last March. But I love creative in Fortnite. I know this is kind of like a side thing, but there's not a whole lot of games that I would probably see right now in the space and want to create content for it. Thing that I was kind of missing out was real life content. Like that's always been fun for me. I love doing vlogs here and there, but I kind of wanted my own space to create crazy, wacky videos. Like for example, I just had 10 YouTubers over to the office and I had 2 wooden doors built and they got to choose and there was a 50-50. One could be $100, one could be a giant pie in the face. And to me, that's like really fun content to create and also makes you want to go back into your gaming content. So maybe the only thing right now is like kind of like maybe mobile gaming. I see a lot of cool mobile games and I think mobile gaming has come so far even in the last like 6 months in comparison to where it was. So I'd like to get into that space a little bit and kind of check it out because I think there's some dope games.
I think him and I both say this, that mobile gaming channels in the next 5 years are probably going to be the biggest. I would say 5 years from now, there's going to be a couple mobile gaming channels with over 170
70% of our audience on YouTube is from mobile, whether it's an iPad, an iPhone, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Is
So-
it because everyone has one of those versus like this high-end PC that it takes?
Oh yeah,
to-
definitely. And then not to mention too, but like, you know, if there's, I have a younger audience, so I know that a lot of my viewers are watching on their parents or grandparents, like iPad, iPhone, Android device, whatever it may be. I know they're just watching me through that.
Yeah. And I mean, the advancement of technology with your phone, the level of game you can get on a phone now is, I mean, what's the equivalent of like a Google Pixel 3 to a computer now? It's what, a computer that's like a year old is like the same processing power now in your phone, but also
getting
costs you
Just
like
in your hand?
$1,000. But
Yeah. So all those guys out there, like with mobile gaming channels, just hang in there.
Hang in there.
Yeah.
It's coming, and you're gonna have a massive.
If you were
channel
there in
do it right.
2015 and 2016, you're definitely doing something right. Like
Yeah.
you were scratching the surface.
And
you
even
heard it here.
Like mobile apps and like new games coming out, they're shelling out hundreds of thousands of dollars a month just for YouTubers to play their games. So if someone has a mobile centric channel, the amount of deal flow that you're going to get from those new games coming in, like
Well,
we
the
talk about all
integration is
time,
just so authentic
huge.
versus, you know, if you're wanting to put on my Minecraft channel, I mean, pick the channel, right? There's so much different types of channels we have, but we don't have a mobile gaming channel. So if somebody wants like mobile game advertisement, it's like, sure, like what channel do you want to live on? None of these channels are primarily mobile. So it's not going to be as authentic as if I were a mobile gaming YouTuber.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of stuff coming
We've
out of that.
strategically set it up for now you having a Fortnite channel, a real life channel, a Minecraft channel, and then a mobile gaming channel. So every brand that comes to us now, their question is always, what channel should we use? And then I'll give them the breakdowns of demographic and PC to mobile, and then they get to pick based on their target audience. No other YouTuber right now is doing that. They're not
Yeah,
thinking
now
about
you
as a
just ruined
business.
it. Now,
Yeah.
now you
The
gave,
secret's
you
out
gave
now.
the
Our big
secret
secret.
sauce away.
Secret to success, like as well as a team, you know, like we've been working on automation of Preston's team. What people do we need to put in place so we can actually turn this into a business? You're seeing YouTubers like guys like Mr. Beast, like obviously pop up because of his team. He has 9 people that help him put videos together. Like he doesn't fill someone's backyard with Orbeez all by himself. And so we're realizing this
I
with
do right
Preston
now.
Yeah. But you're eventually going to have a big team, and the big YouTubers in a couple years are all going to have massive teams of support. No longer are you able to sit like in front of a camera and vlog, you know, like that. The Tyler Oakley days are gone. If you want to hit 250 million views a month. Now, if you just want to hit 30 million views a month and be a decent YouTuber, you can do that. But if you want to be a massive YouTuber and be in the 1%, it's time to build a team and think about it as a business.
That's interesting because I just pulled up some of your early videos and it was literally like you in the room. You had the Justin Bieber comb over going and you're just like hanging out and like with friends and playing Minecraft. And it was really cool to see. And I'm wondering, like the audience watching it, for someone who may not have a lot of friends or has trouble meeting people, this was almost like a hangout or a party.
It really
like
was.
They're spending time with you. They're learning like inside jokes and stuff like that. It was a really cool experience.
That's how you kind of explain it to people who don't understand YouTube, or, you know, like they're like, how do you do this? And it's like, well, kind of like a sports commentator / you're playing games with friends. Like, well, do you teach them how to play the game? And I'm like, not particularly. We're good, I guess, but mainly just, you know, the funny banter that happens in between. But now I think it's a lot more about the setup with videos. I mean, I know that like whenever I consult for other YouTubers and I'm just like, hey, I think you guys should kind of plan your creative out a lot more. Like that's the biggest part of the video.
Mhm.
If you know the creative, you have a pretty good idea of your title, your thumbnail, and what you're going to want to do in the video. So for our secondary Minecraft channel, all of the content on there is like narrative. So there's a big difference to me between like role play and then kind of like improv. And it's more like improv. We have a general idea. One of the series right now is saving my wife from ex-prison. Every time in Minecraft, the prison just changes. We had a Fortnite prison, a slime prison, and the narrative stays about the same. And then in the map, it's like a puzzle and it's me getting to the end of the prison. It's like Princess Peach and Bowser. So I save her every time, but right at the end, right before I save her, she gets captured by Bowser. We have Bowser named Noob1234, and the kids love it. I mean, they're getting like 4 million views each. It takes like a week or two, but they really kick up, and it's like that would not be possible without planning it. I have 20 map creators who then build it. Once I have the idea in place and locked down, then somebody who tests it. So just like Reed was saying, you need to have a big team, and that's just for one of the channels. And you know, and that's a lot of setup time that goes into that.
Man, so you build out custom like Minecraft server or maps for these
Yeah.
specific content pieces, that's an interesting.
And they
like,
only live once too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you really can't reuse a lot of it in the upcoming videos or episodes.
Do you create like a server that with those old maps that fans can go on and like try to recreate and capture or rescue the princess themselves?
That would be a really fun thing. It's something I've been kind of looking into,
Yeah.
like maybe releasing a website that has like those older maps on there that they can obviously get for free and just have fun. Good idea though.
We can do it through Pocket Edition, like through Minecraft Marketplace. It's just content creators aren't taking advantage of it yet.
It's really hard too. It's hard to get your maps on there. They have to be like super perfect. And a lot of our stuff is made for Bedrock Edition and then also Java Edition. So it's like 2 different versions of Minecraft, which makes things complex. So they might see an episode and they're like, oh, he's in Pocket Edition. And then see another episode, oh, he's back to Java Edition. It just depends on like what the scale of the project is, because one might work out better for the other.
Yeah, Minecraft's such a it's nuts that it's spanned so much time and different iterations of it at this point in life. I think the only other game that I know of right now is like CS:GO or something. Like there's so many different versions and people are still playing that and it's still active. But
Is it still thriving? Do you see Minecraft still
Oh
thriving
yeah,
in the
it's
scene?
100%. 100%. I mean, I know like I mentioned this, but like our Minecraft channel right now is at like 50 million views a month on 700,000 subscribers. And that at some point in time for PrestonPlayz, which had like 6 million, was about the same viewership we had, but on, 1/10 of the subscriber base. Even my wife is making some Minecraft content, and we do like narrative stuff on hers where she finds my secret house every time. And so she might find my secret underground house in one episode, and the next one's a house that's in the sky. And a lot of those have 5 to 6 million views when she had only 200, 300,000 subscribers. So I think personally doing Minecraft in a very creative way is very popular. I think the game's still super poppin'. I was on a flight to Hawaii in 2018, and the kid that was next to me was a fan, and he was just playing on his iPad, and he built like the most wacky, crazy creations. I just don't think they get tired of it. The sandbox element's just too good.
Yeah. And people probably won't believe this, but it's still the #1 game on YouTube in terms of watch time. Fortnite is not the #1 game
Insane.
on YouTube.
Wow.
It's still Minecraft.
It's an insane statistic.
Yeah.
Wow. So walk us through the creative process. Like, who's coming up with the ideas? Is it you calling Reed in the middle of the night and saying, yo, I got
Have
this
I,
good idea?
have I actually ever played Minecraft? I think I played Bed Wars for a hot second, and you're like, just get off the computer.
I don't think we have maybe formulated a couple of video ideas based around some brands we've worked with, but for the most part, we
I'm
haven't
hands
really,
off, man.
yeah, we haven't really done a lot of creative together. But when it comes to the creative, usually I try to take control of most of that because I kind of know what my audience wants to see. At least I think I do, anyways.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of trial and error in there. Like before we were able to get out nothing but consistent million-viewed videos, there was so much error in finding out what content everybody wanted to see. So I think a big thing when it's coming up with creative is trying to find keywords or search terms, that are going to be entertaining, engaging, and things that people want to watch. Like I said, for example, people, I don't know why, but house is a giant search term. So we decided to build that into a Minecraft narrative. People like the prison escape, puzzle escape type maps. So we built that into one as well. But pretty much whenever I have like the title and most of the creative, I just toss it to a team member and then they fully build that out. And then I see it in about a week or two's time.
Yeah, your team is really good at like throwing out creative concepts.
We work really fast. I think in the YouTube space, you really do have to work fast. I mean, I worked with somebody who was more from the movie industry and like, they were like, all right, we need to give everybody like a month's heads up. I'm like, dude, more like 10 hours, maybe 30 minutes, like it's hard because YouTube is just changing on a day by day basis. We don't know what's going to happen, what the next big trend is going to be. So I think even if you build out a schedule, you have to be really, really careful about that because you want to be as flexible as possible.
What do you think the shelf life is for a new fad that's popping on YouTube right now?
Oh man, it depends because secret toys is still the #1 keyword in the world, right? And that's been popular for 5 years. So and
Really?
slime is still in the top
Slime's still
5.
#1.
Challenge is high. So but like things like fidget spinner have a very short shelf life. I would say.
I think we all knew that was going to happen.
So there's things that come and go. Water bottle flipping,
Memes.
like memes, yeah. But there's those staples. Like slime is always going to be big. Lego is always going to be big, and that's kind of what we take advantage of. How do we incorporate slime into this video? How does Preston build a Lego house? And then we see it with Unspeakable now. How many Lego videos has he done? 37 in the past month. Like
a lot of Lego videos.
yeah, but so many. But he does a good job of understanding like what those keywords are and then just trying to build a creative concept around it.
And once again, lots of trial and error, right? Because you might think you have like the awesome keywords and you can't wait to make a video about it. And then it's like,
Yeah.
What's like an example of a poorly executed or big flop of an idea that you've done?
oh man.
Give us the stink.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a YouTuber, so there's definitely been some pretty fair amount of clickbait back in the day that I've done. And actually, one more recently, I did something, and I had my ex roommate, and we were scraping.
Oh, with the blurred out girl.
Yeah,
next to
yeah.
you.
We were really
It's like
scraping to
playing
get a
game
video.
with my ex, and everybody. I clicked it. I was like, I want to see.
Yeah,
I want to see some drama.
Like 30%.
Oh, it had a
Average
lot
view
of
duration,
clicks.
10 seconds.
So I think I called it. What was the title of that video? It was like
It was playing something with my ex.
It wasn't playing. It was like answering questions.
That's something like that,
answering
yeah.
questions with my ex, and then I started the video off immediately by ex roommate.
Cringe.
And then everybody was just like, oh, now I get it. But that's a pretty good example of like how you skirted the line like way too far. And it's always better to not post if you think you have to clickbait way too hard. You probably need to go back to the drawing board and redo the creative on the video because it shouldn't be like that. It should be maybe sometimes putting your big toe over the line, but like maybe. Most of the time people want to see like organic stuff that happens within the video. At least for the thumbnail and title anyway. So like that was kind of, it still did really well, but it was a flop in terms of like, obviously a lot of people unsubscribed. They're like, hey, this is like obviously not what we expected to see. And I totally can relate to that.
So you saw a loss in subscribers based on that?
Yeah, you can go to
Oh,
your
wow.
video analytics and you can like see loss of subscribers and you got to throw some misses out there before you can hit. And then also too, like it's a big deal. Like back in the day of YouTube, I'd say it was more important to be very consistent. I think consistency is still really key, but I would rather like, if I go back 2 months ago, I'd just be like, I'd rather not post and focus on a better idea I could post 2 or 3 days later. And because back in the day, it'd be like, okay, we have no video for today. It's 10 a.m. We need to post by noon, film whatever we can, and whatever sticks to the fridge, we're just going to like upload. And I think that's, I don't know, it dilutes your brand. I think the audience can really tell. And it's just, I don't know, no video that you film in like an hour coming up with the creative and filming and editing is really ever going to do well, usually. unless you're some kind of beast.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't reward daily content anymore. It's a different game. Like you just can't upload every day and expect to grow. You have
we
to
used to
create
do,
good
we used to
videos.
do 3 videos a day on one channel.
That's insane.
I mean, I think, yeah, like you said, like
insane.
2014, 2015, sure, that could have worked maybe. But I mean, now I feel like it really is like 3 days a week,
Yeah.
2 days a week, maybe.
It's too saturated. There's way too many like high profile good creators on YouTube for someone to just post daily and grow. Like there's 37 massive gaming channels right now that someone else would rather go watch that's producing good content.
So you think you think that would be primarily driven by the AdSense model of getting higher quality concentrated views on a few videos rather than like spreading out these ad dollars onto a bunch of small random bits of content?
Yeah, it's more about being strategic with the length of the video and then getting a high CTR, which means click-through rate, and then a high average view duration. And that's really what it's all about.
That's something we struggle with. We didn't have a lot of click-through rate because obviously we just weren't making the right types of thumbnails, but our audience retention has always been really through the roof. So we put out a video this Saturday and it was saying yes to my little brother for 24 hours. And it was 17 minutes long. And I think the average view duration was 10 and a half minutes, which is
Insane.
really, really
I watched.
It's really good.
He terrorized your
You watched-
house.
yeah.
He stole your wife's
Yep.
cat.
I threw an egg on the ground, man. He bought $600 in Nerf guns at Target.
Yep.
Just wilding out.
It was a really fun time, but that also comes into like building the creative out. Like they want to see like the next thing that he demands and that I have to say yes to. And that once again comes out the creative, because if your creative isn't good and it's not engaging throughout the entire video, nobody's going to want to stay and watch. And I think click-through rate is super important, but I think creating good content is definitely the most important piece. Then you can kind of figure out how to make really good thumbnails.
Yeah,
Do you think that a person who doesn't have a following right now, like are there still new YouTubers that are being made?
I would say so.
in gaming, I think because of Fortnite, yes. In other genres, I think it's really tough to stick out now, right? I can't remember the last gaming channel outside of like maybe Brave Wilderness that's popped up in a new genre very quickly.
That's true.
It's very, very difficult now. Because how long were you doing it before you blew up? 5 years?
It was a while. I don't think it was
Like-
5 years. I think I started when I was like 14, and then I think I got my first contract when I was like 17 to become like a YouTube partner.
That's
Back in the day of
machinima,
MCNs.
like the respawn days. Yeah. But that, I mean, think about how long it took you to get there. So people have to understand if they're creating a new YouTube channel, they're going to have to do it for 3-4 years. They might never make it, but they're going to have to put in the time. Like,
I
it's
think
not
you
gonna
can do
blow
it.
up.
I think if you have a really solid and strategic game plan and you really digest a lot of YouTube in general, you probably should have a pretty good idea when it comes to creating content. I mean, if it's, Preston over here did a Lego video and it did 5 million views, and then he did this and it did 4 million views, how can I combine those two videos together and create my own authentic creative behind the video? And odds are it's going to perform well. I mean, we do that a lot. Like, we find multiple keywords, or we find things that did well in the past that we can combine with new keywords and new things and then make a new creative behind it, and it does really well. And so, I mean, I guess if you're me, sometimes it's like, oh, it kind of looks like you're rinsing and repeating, but not really, because the creative in the video is still totally different. You're just kind of piggybacking off of some things that have done well. And you kind of want to cluster them together. We call this cluster trending. So whenever we make a video like saying yes to my little brother for 24 hours, you bet there's going to be one of my wife getting said yes to for 24 hours. And even the inverse, where I have to, or my little brother has to say yes to me for 24 hours. And, and because the creative is going to be totally different, the title and the video are approximately the same kind of creative, but it's different at the same time,
But then you can make a playlist from there, like all of the say yes.
Yeah, and
videos,
whenever-
and then it encourages binge watching.
And we've seen that, like whenever we post a video that's very similar, we did I think it was like a Minecraft series. And it was like 5 ways to prank your brother's house. And then I did it to my wife and then my sister. And like, it just continued. Every time we posted one of them, the older videos would see a massive spike in views, just like a huge spike. So that's called cluster trends. So if you can build out a series that's popular, and each time you build the series to where you can change things within it, then you can pick up some significant views from that.
Yeah.
It's good advice.
You making everyone a Roblox account. That's kind of a good.
Yeah, we did that. We made Mr. Beast a Roblox account. My mom, my dad, we made my cat a Roblox account.
I don't even have a Roblox account yet.
And then if you
boy up.
I got nothing.
Your boy up
no,
right
no
now.
making your manager a Roblox account.
And every time we'd give the people like $500 to spend on their Roblox account, and we make sure that it was different per person. And so that way the audience, like, you get this, 2% of comments like, you've already done this before. But then you also get the audience that's like, oh, this is different with each person. And it's more and more funny because, they're getting better at these types of videos anyways. And then once again, they cluster off each other. And so it's like making one video. If you have 4 videos up that are already similar, it's like you're making 3 videos by just putting out one video, because the others get so much traction.
Is there, so the way you're saying that you're taking one idea and kind of making multiple videos, if you put that all into one video, what's obviously that's probably not going to do as well. Is that because of a time difference? Like, what's the maximum length you would create for a video right now?
We've done all kinds of lengths. I mean, anywhere from like 2 minutes to, I think I've had a 3 or 4 or 5 hour video go up before. Very long Minecraft map, but we don't want to get into that. But I would say like ideally, you probably want like in the 15 to 20 minute range. I think it can go longer. I mean, I see with my videos, if we do like a 30-minute Fortnite parkour map, we'll get 17 minutes of watch time. Like people are hooked, which is awesome to see. I really love that about my audience. But if you're finding that if you're making a 30-minute video and you only get 8 minutes of people watching, you know, either you need to trim the fat more, maybe maybe the creative wasn't planned out well, maybe the intro didn't even hook them into it. But I would say 15 to 20 minutes is ideal. But like you were saying, time restriction's a big thing because making somebody's Roblox account's approximately 15 to 20 minutes. So not to mention it'd be hard to get the talent in, like mom, dad, cat, grandpa, and then you make it into like an hour and a half long video.
Cat's hard to book.
Cat, yeah.
Oh, dude, cats are. That was
tight
hard.
right now.
That cat was very difficult to get to the office. It's a very high profile cat. It's a
the
full bred
mean looking
Persian
one, right? It's
yeah,
like the
I think it's the
grumpy-
mean one. Yeah,
grumpy face cat,
Yeah. As she went back on her Roblox account since.
no,
I
not
figured
yet.
it was just sitting there.
She got mad.
Just
She got
just
mad.
blew up and moved on.
She moved on.
No, for our listeners and our viewers, they just got a really good lesson in kind of YouTube algorithm 101. And live content tends to rule the nation right now. And I've seen you do some like live shows and stuff like that. You have all these streamers. Every kid wants to be a streamer. Like, do you have to have a niche? You say, oh, I want to be a streamer. Okay, what makes you different than everyone else? Well, I play Fortnite. I play Apex. Like, how do you stand out?
Really, you just have to be either insanely good and talented. I think Dizzy's a pretty good example of that. He's a guy that's just kind of like randomly appeared on Twitch. And I've seen like he's obviously like really good at aiming. I think you can tell like he's new to the space in terms of like being an entertainer. Like he doesn't talk a whole lot, and there's nothing wrong with that because his entertainment value is in his gameplay. But I think, and that's how I started YouTube. Like people watched me because I was insanely good at Modern Warfare 3. They saw me get a Moab with every gun, a sniper with a silenced attachment and a thermal attachment. 24 kills without dying. That's really hard to do. But I got
Humble brag.
Weird
flex.
Moabs in
it
24
only took 22 hours, but you know, I got the 8-minute video. But I think that, you know, if you want to do that, that's totally cool. But I wanted to transition away from that kind of just people watching for gameplay. I kind of wanted people to watch for me. And that was a big risk because, you know, I mean, I still don't think I'm the most entertaining guy, but thankfully people did follow suit. So I think that if you're going to get into this space, you either have to be really good at what you're doing. Like I said, at the game, if you want to get into Fortnite or Apex, or you have to be coming up with some like really creative, funny ideas. Maybe it's like, you know, carrying randoms in a solo game, but you do something and you tell them like, I'll give you 1,000 Apex coins if you win this. And they're like, no, wait, dude. And then you actually follow up with it. Like that could be your first viral that gets you the traction that you're looking to do. So I think it either has to be ideas or gameplay.
Yeah.
And then if you can do both, if you can do both, it's awesome.
So I could start my blindfolded Apex YouTube channel, and that's going to do all right.
Yeah, totally.
If it's entertaining, I think
Yeah.
there's like you're either Markiplier, super entertaining, not very good, or you're Tfue, best in the world.
Yeah.
Right. That's like the two ends of the spectrum, and you have to figure out as a streamer which end do you fit on. Because if you're not very good, you got to make up for it and be really
Well, our very
entertaining.
own NV Kenworth, I mean, he's hilarious. I've always said
Yep.
he's the funniest dude ever. I met him playing video games 10 years ago and I forced him to do YouTube practically. And he's now getting his first 10 million views a month on his Fortnite
Wholesome.
channel.
Oh,
So I'm,
it's
wholesome.
yeah,
I
I'm
had
really
no idea.
proud.
Shout out Kenny.
Shout out to Kenny right
Kenny,
now.
killing it.
But he's also really good. So we used to play on a professional, semi-professional Call of Duty 4 team for Pro Mod. And so he was not only entertaining, but exceptionally good at the game. And so for him, like that was his niche. Like he was good at both. And that is why I think he finally is now like hit his spark. But like Reed was saying, it took him years. He's been creating content for 4 or 5 years. And sure, he's gotten up to the points where he's gotten a few million views a month, which is definitely sustainable and like pay your rent with that, your groceries, your bills. But you know, to get into the points where like I'm now talking with him, like you need to maybe hire an editor, content creator, somebody to kind of like help continue to build this momentum that you've now generated for yourself.
Yeah. He even asked me, he's like, where do I find a manager? He asked me that the other
Oh.
day. I'm like, man, Kenny's getting big. He's asking about a manager now.
Man, so here's a real question that I bet a bunch of people out there have. You just barely mentioned, you know, the amount of views equating to a sustainable life. Like, what amount of views does it take to not have another job and just live?
I think if you're really good at spending your money, you're very frugal. I think you could do it off easily, like
$1 million?
$1 million.
That's like, it
Million
You know,
depends on
a
the
million
per
views a
month.
month, and It depends on what kind of content you're creating. If you're
Yeah.
creating more PG-13 racy content, you're not going to see a lot of ad dollars. It's just kind of how it works. But if you're creating, regular gaming content that is pretty much for the family and everybody can watch it, I think that off 1 million views a month, and you make approximately 2,000 to 3,000 a month off that.
I mean, get a 4-bedroom apartment, live with your friends, and
Yeah,
just
especially
grind
like
it
that.
out.
I'm
And
just
then
like
if
in
all
college.
four of you were doing this,
Yeah,
and you
just
and then
grind
you
it out.
Streamhouse.
yeah, you make all that,
Yeah.
and we're talking about YouTube only, right? On that side.
On that side.
So 1 million views a month on YouTube, you could live in a 4-bedroom apartment with your 4 friends and survive.
I think in the
Easy.
future too, brands are getting the point so they even want to work with very small influencers. I know it's like smaller package deals, but hey, if you're landing let's say 10,000 views a video and you're getting like $100 to make a video on top of the ad revenue, it's pretty good. I mean, that definitely would help with your income.
Yeah. From the business side of things, I can't stress this enough to young kids trying to become YouTubers or Twitch streamers. Do not swear. Like they think it's like their brand. Oh, I swear it's my brand. Okay, well, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, they're never going to touch you. So if that's the person you want to become is unfamily friendly, it's going to pigeonhole you so poorly in the future and not set you up to be a massive creator. That's like
a great
biggest
point.
problem I
Yeah.
see right now is kids just think they need to swear to be cool. and it's
Also,
not.
no, it's not. And I never really swore. That wasn't my thing. I have a lot of siblings. I wanted to be a good influence, and I'm very faith based as well. And like Reed was saying, like they do think it's kind of cool, but it's not hard. It's harder to be entertaining when you're not swearing for sure. But that doesn't mean it's impossible.
Mhm.
And I mean, I think like you practice, like I have a guy in the office and whenever he gets around my little brother, I'm like, all right, no swearing. Remember, you owe me 1,000 V-Bucks every time you swear. And he probably still does it 25, 30 times. But I think it's good. It's a good practice too. I mean, just in general.
Yeah, and we've done a lot of research on this. So a friend of ours actually broke it down. If you swear once in your YouTube video and you're not Google preferred, which is 99.9% of creators, your
Explain
CPM
that to people who don't know what Google preferred means.
is more or less like Google's ad sales team goes out and sells your channel specifically. So when they're in a meeting with Frito-Lay, they're going to be like, we think you should advertise on these 10 channels and here's why. And they'll pay a higher ad dollar, which is a CPM. People break down as a CTM, cost per 1,000 views. And so instead of seeing on average, you'll see a $2 to $4 CPM, you'll see a 10 to 12, in some circumstances higher. But I think on average, you probably see, somewhere around there. And most people, like if they swear, that gets cut in half. So if you're at a $2 CPM right now, one swear word will take you down to a 1. 2 swear words, you're probably down to 50 cents. So like people need to understand, like there's big repercussions.
It's like a
for you
digital swear
swearing.
jar.
Yeah.
Seriously, like,
That's what it
people
is.
Don't understand how big of an issue.
All
this
brands
is.
don't want that. I mean, I understand too. I have my
Makes
own
sense.
clothing brand. I don't think I would want to advertise on somebody who's, swearing a whole lot. And it's not because I got anything against that person, but I
Yeah.
definitely want it to be on something that is more wholesome.
And brands are going to be able to select specific channels in the future of who they want to monetize on. They don't have that available right now. They can say, I want to advertise on a gaming channel, and they'll get 100 gaming channels. In the future, they're going to be able to specifically pick. And if they see a guy swearing, nope. Like
It's not YouTube 2015 where it's just big brands just dumping a lot of money into YouTube and being like, disperse these ads appropriately. I think they're really fine tuning on who they
100%.
pick and what kind of videos and all that stuff, which can be scary for a lot of creators too, which is why it's important to make sure you have other projects being in the making type deal. And I also think too, if you're trying to get into YouTube and you're beginning, I think getting in right now is a really good time. We're about to hit into summer, very important. Not that you can't become a successful YouTuber outside of like summer and December, but those are like really 2 months that you really need to try to go hard.
Is it because the kids are out of school?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
kids
a
are
lot
out
of
of
free time.
school and everybody's like having a lot more free time, I think. So everybody's able to browse YouTube more. And I still talk with creators who have been creating for 3-4 years. And whenever summer ends or, school is like back in session, they're like, oh, channel's dying. And I'm like, no, it's just the time and season, man. Like your ads are going to go down. That's fine. Your viewership's going to go down and it'll come back up in a couple of months. YouTube's all about that long haul.
Yeah, everyone freaks out in January. It's like, you knew it was coming. Why are you freaking out? Like,
You got to be a bear. You got to store up for the...
So do you supplement, let's say if YouTube viewing time is down, do you supplement with like more Twitch stuff or more live content or something on Facebook?
We usually spend a lot more time on creative. That's when I really try to hone in on the team. If we really need more hires, more people to build the team out, other projects and endeavors that we want to work on, that's a really good time to do it. It's also a good time, like if you're a creator and you're really burnt out and you need to go, spend the weekend in, I don't know, or take the week off, go ski or something like that. It's a good time to take
Get
vacation.
That head refresh.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really important. I can't stress that enough, that if you don't take enough time for yourself, and for me, like I just like watching anime for like an hour or two by myself, or, you know, praying, whatever it is that kind of just gets your juices flowing again. It makes you feel like refreshed. It's important to do that because your content and your ideas are going to be so much better rather than just working and hustling 16 hours a day. It's all about working smart. Working hard is very, very important. But I think working smart is just so much more important than working hard. You got to be hardworking too, but you got to be able to work smart and really think through your process more than just, you know, living on an hourly basis of just thinking about, all right, so I'm doing the next hour, I'm doing the next hour. Planning is very important when it comes to YouTube content.
Top 5 anime. Go.
Oh, easy. I think we got Gurren Lagann, Haikyuu, Kuroko no Basket. I know there's a bunch I'm forgetting about. Oh, Code Geass, number 1, easily.
Geass is good.
And then I got I got one more left, man. I'm gonna say Mob Psycho.
Yeah.
I'm loving Mob Psycho.
Season 2.
Oh, I'm watching it. You know I'm on that. I got to get this guy on it.
Yeah, I just haven't got into it.
You're
yet.
not into
We
anime?
watched a little Attack on Titan, and that was probably
He watched
it.
one episode.
It
with
was
me.
good, but we just never continued.
He walked out the door.
It was
he
in
walked
the
out the
heat.
door.
It was in the heat of the summer too. It was like June. Like we had just got back from E3. Heat of the summer. Like we have no time during the summer. Oh yeah. And we use January, February a lot to plan for the year ahead. So right now, like
Except for
Preston
this
and I-
January and February. I mean, this was an insanely busy
It's
time.
been great. Influencer marketing is at the heat of like it's at the peak right now. That it's the highest it's ever been in my mind. I've been in this world for 5 years. I've never had a January and February be this busy in 5 years. And it's been significantly more busy than it was last year.
Well, we thought we were going to have, like, we were just speaking about, like, taking a little bit of time off in January, maybe like a little trip with the wifey, or, you know, maybe really honing in on what kind of content we were going to create and build the team out more. And it was like, no, all right, we got like.
Yeah. Who launches a game in January? Like Apex Legends.
Yeah.
We were looked at and we're like, okay, when's this coming out? June? They're like, no, it launches next week. Like, you got to be crazy. It's
Most of the time we
January.
we get our deals
And it
it's-
worked.
Yeah, we get a couple of days heads up
crazy.
usually. It's like,
Yeah.
you're going to be in a flight tomorrow. And I'm like, oh,
It's-
okay.
It's been insane. It's been fun, but we've also been planning a lot of bigger projects too. Toys, animation series, like kind of figuring out like what end of 2019 is going to look like, but it's been very busy.
Reed, break down influencer marketing a little bit for our viewers who may not know what
Yeah.
that term means.
It's been around. I think people think it's a new term, influencer marketing, but it's no different from when brands used to sponsor celebrities and athletes. It's really no different. It's just an influencer in today's game isn't just a celebrity actor or actress. It's a digital / social media personality like Preston, or people even smaller than Preston that are getting paid by teeth whitening companies, right? And so people have actually seen a 3 times higher ROI on influencer marketing because it's coming directly from that person's mouth.
It's way more personable.
It is, and it's organic. And when Preston says, hey, I actually use this product, it's not a 30-second media roll that someone's seeing as a commercial.
It's not an ad, it's a
saying
hookup.
it. Yeah,
It's a hookup from
hey
a
guys,
friend.
this is a great product. I think you should use it, right? Like we've been with Hot Pockets now for 2 years. You know, we support Hot Pockets in some of Preston's videos, and we've had people show up at events and have Preston sign a Hot Pockets box.
It's great. I mean, and we can
unreal.
mention phone too, right? I mean, like
OnePlus is
Yeah.
another.
I had the first original OnePlus phone ever, and then they reached out to us, was it like last summer or something
Yeah.
like that? I was like, I love their phones. I was
Yeah.
like, I've been
we
bought
were
them
both
ages
using,
ago.
like you got me on OnePlus. We were
I had a
both using
OnePlus before they even approached us.
Yeah, so we just did a giveaway with them, but it's more personable coming from an actual. And then I wouldn't even classify like influencers as celebrities. They're just like your friends. Like I think most of your fans see you as like one of their best friends.
Well, that's one of the words I really don't like. Fans. I really always has bothered me because they're viewers at the core and they're supporting you. And I mean, lots of times I meet up with them and they're just like me. They're just like, oh, I also like watching videos while playing games too. But like, you know, fan, I feel like is that over exaggerative. Like they just faint at the sight of you or the whiff of your cologne.
It's fanatic. Like that's not, if you say fanatic, there's always like a negative connotation with that.
Yeah.
But fans is the shortened version, and that's what we're used to. But yeah, I think it's the same thing with us on the esports side. It's like all these people do the same thing, they play the same thing, they enjoy the same content, and you want to share that with them rather than present that for them, I think, right? So but as you're saying with these influencers now, I think a big important part about influencers is that authenticity. You're not going to promote a product or talk about something that you don't like authentically would want to support.
Yeah, there's no point.
Yeah, we've turned down.
The audience will tell. I mean, the audience can tell if you're having an off day and you film a video, they'll know. Like they really will. I mean, they'll know if you're a fake personality doing something just because you want to get views. Like They can tell. The audience, they're smart. They're really smart. And they're like the core reason why you're big on the platform in the first place. I can't strain that enough, like how much respect I give to all the viewers that watch my content. Like to me, I wouldn't be here without them. And it's really important to like respect them in that capacity. And same with your content that you're putting out. Like, I mean, be respectful, like create good content, not because you just want to get views, but because you're, first of all, having fun making it, which they'll notice. Like when I'm making videos with my little brother, they're like, Preston's having a blast right now. And I can see that. And I want to watch the entire video and I want to see another one like this. Versus when you're just like, oh, just trying out this new type of content and I'm loathing it. You know what I mean? It's important to be really authentic, not only in branding, but also like your content.
Question for Reed. I've always been curious, like how much business starts by sliding in the DMs? Like realistically, like
you've made me
there's
slide
a celebrity,
into people's DMs.
you got the blue check mark, you're verified, they're verified. Like, hey,
I've actually
what's going on?
only signed clients through Twitter DM.
That's
I've
insane.
signed Typical Gamer, Preston, Mr. Beast was the Twitter DM. We've DM'd a bunch of people. I don't actively recruit, so I got into this industry just by a cold call, calling Dude Perfect. I've never actually recruited another YouTuber. They slide in my DMs usually and start asking questions, because there's a lot of MCNs, multi-channel networks out there that have said they provide management services. And I've actually done it from a different perspective of I'm actually a business manager. I'm not taking your AdSense. I'm going to help you grow your business. And that's how I went about it. And a lot of YouTubers have seen that and asked either Preston or Typical or some of my clients, been like, hey, can you introduce me to your manager? And that's how it all started. And that's like how I got introduced to you, is through a friend of ours, Nico. And Nico was like, hey, you should meet Preston. He lives in
you're
Dallas.
local.
Yeah, local. He's like, you guys should go out to coffee. And that's just how it started.
Back in 2017. And we were pretty established back then. I think we had like 4 million subscribers before we even had a manager. And it's all about finding the right person too. Like not only were we friends, we got along really well, but I think we had the same ideals that lined up with.
Yeah.
So are you seeking new clients now?
No, I don't sign a lot of new clients. I'd rather go deeper with my current client roster.
Yeah.
I think a lot of YouTubers right now think they need a manager when they don't. You need a manager when you get to a certain level that where you have your YouTube business is doing great and you want to diversify your product offering and get into other areas. And that's Preston was at that point, I think in 2017, where we were like, okay, you're killing it. Now, how do we do another company over here? How do we make you more money in this company? And that's where most YouTubers get. And a lot of them, the ones that are smaller, are just like, I want brand deals, brand deals, brand deals. Well, a manager can bring you brand deals, but that's not the bigger picture. Like Preston now, like we have an agency team with Endeavor that's working on like commercial and theatrical. We have a publicist. Like, it's a much bigger business than I thought, most YouTubers don't get. They just see brand deals, and that's not really what I do.
I know a guy. He's good looking, has his own podcast. Just let me know.
Don't worry, his likeness
slide in the
connect you
DMs,
guys.
man.
and
Slide in the
personality
DMs.
is owned by a company that I'm very familiar with.
Remember, just Twitter DM, slide on in.
So Preston, I feel like you have cornered the market on young gamers when it comes to YouTube. What is next beyond the Minecraft videos and the Fortnite videos? Like, what's next for you?
That's
That's something that you want to maintain when you're 40 and coming out with Minecraft videos? If Minecraft will still be popular when you're 40.
I'm
most
sure it
likely.
will be. I mean, I hope it is. That's a really good question. Always talking to me. I know I preach about not being super day by day, but I do live a lot of my life like that. I've been trying not to be like that since 2017, 2018. I really enjoy making content for the younger audience. Like I said, I have 5 siblings and 3 are younger. And so for me, family's like everything to me. So making content, like I said, for the younger audience was just really fun and kind of natural. Will I be making videos like that when I'm 40? Who knows? My passion really lies in business. I really love YouTube, but I've been running other companies and businesses since pretty much I started YouTube. And it's something I just find a lot of passion in. Really, really have a lot of fun with it. So I hope I continue to create more content like this. And I hope I can build it out more where at the office, I can get to the point where I just have to come in and film rather than doing a lot of the prep time and a lot of the creative. And it's not because I'm spoiled. I do kind of want to be spoiled, to be honest with you. But I find a lot more fun in actually filming the videos than planning a lot of the creative. And so I want to find somebody to really help me with that. But I don't think I'll ever stop YouTube. It's too much fun. And even if I was running a massive company, God willing, I would still probably create YouTube videos because it's really fun. And I would never want to leave my audience hanging dry like that.
I want to see in movies though, man. Like
We're getting
movies is
there. We're getting there.
Disney Channel. I've always
going to be like one of those washed up YouTubers in 10 years that gets like 5K views a video. And you're like, I'm going to do it, man. 10K. Let's get to 10K.
I was
And you
thinking
have,
that,
like, 30
that Disney
million
kid that
subs.
just like, he's doing it. He's wholesome. He's everything. And the next thing you know, he's on like TMZ, like hanging out of a limo.
Yeah, the thing, like, we always talk about this. Like, do we need Disney? Like, we're already getting as many views, if not more, than Disney and
We combine it right
Nickelodeon.
now. I think we're over 200 million views a month.
Yeah,
That's insane.
like in my opinion, Disney needs some of these bigger YouTubers more than the YouTubers need them. And it's sad to say that Disney's come to that point, but I just don't see a future in where we need, like, we go to Disney. We're like, hey, we need you guys to work with us. Like, we're already doing 250 million views a month.
Like I said, too, it depends on the YouTuber. Like if they just want to do entertainment and that's all they want to do, then they would have a blast with that. I love entertainment. I think it's super fun. But like I said, at the end of the day, business is my passion. So I would rather seek out and build companies over becoming a massive influencers on like every single television channel, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Is traditional media dying, do you think? I don't have cable. You have cable?
No.
I think
No.
traditional media, it depends on how we classify that.
Mhm.
I think it's transitioning to OTT, over the top, and subscriptional services. I think that's where everything is going. I think a good example
Lots
of
of
someone
paywalls.
doing it extremely well is Cheddar. I don't know if you guys watch Cheddar.
Yeah.
Basically, CNBC for kids. Like, they do esports. Cheddar Sports.
Yeah,
is
we've
all
had our
esports.
guys on there.
Our guys
Yeah,
all the
we've
time.
seen
Listen to
NBA
interviews,
people
yeah.
on there. Like, it's a progressive channel leaning towards like OTT that I think we're going to see everyone. We already are seeing a lot of people push into it, but it's going to be, and we might even see YouTubers. Preston and I have talked about, like, if we were to launch an OTT, like, what would that look like?
Mhm.
Because we have a plethora of content that can be repurposed for a TV channel, and then a subscription model and a paywall. And I think we're just trying to figure that out, but that's where this is all going. And so Disney needs to figure it out. I know they launched their OTT. Everyone is trying. We'll see what AT&T does and how theirs performs, but that's where this is all going.
So Preston TV 2030.
It could be Preston TV 2020 at
Yeah.
the rate of how this is going. And it could be as simple as Preston pulling in all of his friends and all of their content, and then we gear it towards kids. So it's something that we've talked about a lot. And then now, if we're going to launch an animated series, which we've been talking about for the last 4 months, that's something that goes on that TV channel and that OTT. And now all of a sudden, like, we're our own Disney. Why do we need Disney? We're creating content. We have an animation series. We have big personalities, and we'll do it ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Why
that's
not?
definitely where entertainment is going. I mean,
Yeah.
we have, again, for you viewers, especially people who are tuned into esports, how many of you guys are watching on actual cable television, or not cable, even on over antenna? Who has an antenna at all anymore?
It'd be really interesting for Overwatch League to get us the numbers on Disney XD versus Twitch. And because I don't think you guys even get to see the concurrent numbers on Disney.
I think there's guesstimations that come out like a week after in the papers, but I don't know how accurate they are.
Digital's a lot higher than like a Disney channel, and that's just my guess. But it'd be interesting to see what Overwatch would.
If you're counting China, the China numbers, I mean, that's
Massive.
very significant for Overwatch in particular.
Yeah.
But any of these OTT platforms now, I mean, that's what Netflix is, right? Netflix, Hulu, HBO Go, Verve, Funimation for all the anime stuff. So like, that's, everybody wants to get into that game from an entertainment standpoint. Esports isn't exactly there yet. I mean, a lot of it is reliant on platforms like Twitch. Like, Twitch is basically that for esports in a lot of ways. You've got up and comers, Mixer, Caffeine, all kinds of other
Mob
stuff.
Crush, yeah, for mobile. An interesting thing I wanted to get Preston's take on is, now you've seen with this like adpocalypse too, and you've heard about it, Disney has dropped their ads. Epic has dropped their ads. I think AT&T announced that after coming back for a month, they were dropping their ads. Would love to get your perspective on, why are people pulling out of YouTube? Like, we saw this, like, they were basically pedophiles commenting, if you guys aren't familiar with this, pedophiles commenting on kids' channels. The channels weren't monetized from what I saw, but would love to get your perspective on, like, these brands are now pulling out and why they should be coming back.
That's a really good question. I think that brands should come back, and I really hope they do, to be honest with you. But the main reason being is that I think YouTube needs to kind of transition. I was telling them, I was like, man, run like a super background check on me. Make me go through some kind of psych evaluation, so that way, like, the people who are putting a lot of risk into YouTube, like building a business out of it and hiring people, because when you hire people, if you're a good boss, like, you're taking on that risk in a way, because you're obviously paying their salaries. And then now, like, let's say YouTube crashes and burns because of an apocalypse. It's not going to happen. But if it did, I'd have to let go of a lot of people. We have over 20 employees and, 80 contractors. That's a lot of people that are going to be without jobs. And that'd be really sad, not to mention they become your friends at the end of the day. So I think YouTube really should kind of make it so it's more difficult to get monetization on your channel. And I know they did already do that once, but I think maybe they should start looking at more creators and more like cherry picking them, the ones that are, really stable and really want to make content and are going to create appropriate content. It's fine if they're making like dicey PG-13 content that's, like swearing and whatnot, like we've been discussing, but it's one thing whenever they're getting into this very like Elsa Gate type stuff, right? Where it's just very inappropriate for the kids. And I think brands should realize that YouTube's not going anywhere and they're going to fix it. They fixed it last time. They're going to fix it again. And I think this time that they just need to make it even more strict on who they allow advertisements to run through. That way these brands aren't worried like, is this going to be going on something that's inappropriate again? And I know that they're already working on that. You can just feel it. They're definitely trying to make it more like that. But I really want the brands to come back. I want them to be more select on how they get to choose their advertisements and maybe even on a channel basis too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad to see because it doesn't hurt the larger creators. It hurts the smaller creators trying to make it. Now all these brands are pulling out. Now the smaller channels aren't getting monetized. They're not making any money. Then they have to go get another job. And I think that's what these brands need to realize.
And that's the lifeblood of YouTube is smaller creators. Like we love them. I mean, without them, like they wouldn't challenge the bigger creators. The bigger creators would stay on top forever. And I mean, just like business.
Yeah. So it's really sad to see from my perspective too, of like Disney dropping out. Disney owes, like, sorry to put Disney on blast here. They owe a lot to YouTube. Think about all the YouTube channels that are based off Disney content. New ride comes out. All these creators are like creating videos on this ride. And then everyone watches these YouTube videos about this Disney ride. And I think Disney also has a channel on YouTube. I think they do their own YouTube channels.
I believe they do.
So they owe YouTube a lot. And so for them to pull out just because of something
One
that happened
video
without them doing any research, I feel like it was them saying, okay, we saw a few articles, we got to pull out just for safety's sake.
Mm-hmm.
But when you actually peel the onion back and look at what happened, like those videos
YouTube
weren't
mitigated
monetized.
it very fast.
Very well.
Very fast.
I just felt it was very disrespectful for them to pull out like they did so quickly when YouTube has really done so much for their brand.
And we already discussed it's hard to become a YouTuber as it is. Yeah. And it's not that ad rates aren't, they're not bad, but it's still hard. I mean, if it wasn't for the extra branded content that we make, it really helps us be able to afford that office to fit the new people that we want to hire type of deal. And so it's already a struggle as it is. And then if you have a lot of the bigger brands pulling out, it's just going to make it even more difficult for YouTubers to really start getting on the spotlight. And that's what YouTube wants. I mean, that's what we want. We want new people to really challenge our ideas and to get bigger on YouTube. We want to see these new innovative content creators.
Yeah. Yeah. Epic pulled out too. I mean, they owe a lot to YouTube creators. Wow. Epic owes a lot to the creator community.
What do you think is YouTube's biggest threat from another platform standpoint?
I think it's going to be Amazon. I don't think we've heard a lot about what Amazon is doing in terms of something that's not Twitch, more of like a VOD OTT service for creators to put videos on. Amazon Prime Video's done okay monetizing Roblox and Minecraft content. It's my theory that they're going to come out with something pretty revolutionary in the next 1 to 2 years. And so I would say YouTube is very concerned about what that's going to be because they're probably the only one that can compete at this point with Google and YouTube, in my opinion.
I'd agree with that.
Monetarily speaking, from an infrastructure standpoint, they have more
servers,
server space, all that.
Infrastructure is in place for them to create something the same, if not better.
Yeah. And it's no secret that YouTube's back end has its challenges and is kind of a dated platform and it's hard to update. Mm-hmm. Taking down all of YouTube to do a refresh for the back end would be catastrophic. We kind of know that. So, I mean, Amazon's well poised to be the next, from a purely monetary and infrastructure standpoint, a YouTube killer. If it
Do you think Netflix will start pulling over YouTube creators?
It seems like they've invested most of their time and money just into original content series.
Very high production.
Yeah. So what Netflix's business model is more, we're going to buy it. So Stranger Things, for example, they're going to buy the whole thing and then they're going to produce it and pay for it. Right. So they buy that IP. I don't know if they'll ever allow a person like Preston on the platform to just create his own content and then make advertising money off it, because that's so different from their current model.
I mean, one of the biggest challenges from a YouTube platform standpoint is that you're consuming content in binge sessions, right? You're not getting daily updates from whatever content that it is. I mean, I know that was really difficult in the anime scene because they're releasing episodes every week, but you'd have to wait for the whole series to be done for it to be on Netflix. Imagine your content being like held until the end of the month to release it all at once. That doesn't make any sense for your audience whatsoever. So I don't know how Netflix gonna, if it even wants to attempt that type of route.
They might have to. I would say Netflix's biggest competitor is YouTube right now. Maybe not YouTube, maybe Fortnite and Minecraft, because it's an easily accessible video game. It's free to play. Apex is free to play, and the content comes out daily, and you don't have to pay for a subscription. It's free. I can go watch your content whenever I want. Every day you're coming out with new stuff. Like, Netflix has to compete in some way with that.
Man, have you done any YouTube Red stuff at this point?
No, we haven't yet.
Okay.
YouTube Red is it's a different model than it used to be. Now it's called YouTube Originals, and they're doing their own shows similar to Netflix. But I think it's going to come to the point where it's just accessible. Like, I don't think you have to pay for the subscription anymore, and I could be wrong. But YouTube Red, you had to pay the $10 a month to get that Red content. I think YouTube Originals is just free to watch for everyone, and they monetize it as well. They now run ads on it.
Yeah, so they're changing their
Yeah,
platform already.
they're adapting. But yeah, Netflix is definitely competing with Fortnite. And if
They're
they
doing a
think
good
they're
job.
not-
They also cater to a much older audience.
Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say so. I mean, I don't see any of my audience coming to me and being like, oh, I love that show on Netflix. You know, I
Right.
really feel like it caters to like 14 plus.
Mhm. Or it's the really young audience where it's the parents are just putting on, some kid show when they're like 6 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
think
then-
about
and
my
then the
friends
kids-
with kids, and it's like 2 channels. It's either Weather Channel or Netflix Kids, like
Yeah.
all day.
But
That's true.
Netflix knows that too. Now they have anime. They've started to get like younger, skewing like animations for kids. Like, they know that they have to get younger. And I think that's a big issue.
And then the
with
kids still at the
Netflix.
end of the day are just grabbing their iPad and then
Yeah.
flipping on YouTube. And
And
But
it's free.
we all know the kid's not going to go and pay a $12 a month subscription to watch anything on Netflix. That's always going to be the parents doing that until you hit 18 years old, maybe. Probably you don't even have that money at that point.
Not
so
even
25. Yeah.
Not even.
So it's a different model. It's tough. I mean, you got Hulu kind of even more as a competitor probably on that side with just ad platforms.
Yeah. And I would keep your eyes on Instagram in 2019 as well. I think we'll see some type of, and it's called IGTV. And I don't know if that's how they're going to leverage it, or if they're going to leverage actually like videos on creators' channels, but they're going to monetize in some way. They're going to not pivot. They're going to put pre-rolls, mid-rolls, probably mid-rolls like Facebook. That's something to look out for in 2019. And then how does a Preston monetize then on Instagram is what we're going to have to then figure out. But that is coming. We know that's coming.
Preston, can we get Reed a YouTube channel? Can you help this dude out? I want to hear him talk.
I tried.
What am I doing?
I
Am doing
tried.
Apex
about like
Legends?
optimization of these platforms.
if we
like,
did,
really,
he
like,
wouldn't
getting
talk
in the-
about these platforms anymore. He'd be too busy making content.
You'd never hear from me.
I'd never hear
It'd be
from him
like
again.
Midnight, and I'd be like, no, man, I got to film an Apex Legends video.
I mean,
And you'd
just
be
like me.
You're terrible at Apex. You
Well,
don't even get a kill.
That's a good question though. When you say creating a channel, like let's talk about Reed creating a channel where it's more of this business talk and it's kind of the behind the scenes stuff. That's not really a monetization platform you might be thinking of, but it's more of an advertising platform for you. So I've worked on both sides of the spectrum where you're creating content and putting it on YouTube to make money, but you're also putting content on YouTube to market your business.
Yeah.
And views are great. You're not monetizing it because you just want as many people to see it. So
Yep. So my strategy, so if I thought about my content strategy, it would probably tie in YouTube, but it would be more like B2B. So I would make videos for like an executive at McDonald's to watch and be like, okay, now we need to film content like that. Or I would go on LinkedIn and make a video, and then I would do paid ads and be like, okay, the title is why I think McDonald's is struggling in 2019. And then I would target the executive team for McDonald's with those paid ads. That's what I would do. So it'd be more of a B2B instead of like me trying to get Preston's fans to watch me play video games, which would be really hard.
They
And
wouldn't.
they would be like, the average view duration would be like 10 seconds. They'd be like, he's so bad. So that to me is like where my business to business content strategy would be.
Right on. Before we get out of here, I want to hear everyone's favorite YouTuber. Starting with the man, Preston.
Oh, why you put me on
Who are
the
you,
spot
who's
like
on your
that?
subscribe list?
Okay, it's
Who's your favorite YouTuber?
that's a really good question because like when I've started every
Man.
statement like that, but it is a really good question. Stop asking these good questions.
sorry,
I'm getting
man.
tired of these.
It's my job.
To be honest with you, it's gonna be the man, the myth, the legend. It's gonna be PewDiePie. Like he's probably the only person I really like will watch.
Mhm.
You know, like a couple times a week. I'm like, what's the old Pewdster's up to these days? You know, I kind of want to check in on him and see how he's doing and see what kind of. I mean, he's very funny.
Has he reached a level of fandom though where it doesn't matter what the content is? People are just going to watch him.
Oh,
'cause
definitely.
He's past that.
Yeah, I figured.
Years ago, I think. Like he can literally put up anything. Noodles
Yeah.
sticking to a fridge.
He's so like Loai is the best show.
Stop.
on
You
YouTube
always
right
go
now.
on about this.
It's so good. Like the meme reviews that he does, and like
He's
Elon
also-
Musk like hosting meme review was awesome.
That's
We're
pretty
also
epic.
talking.
nuts,
We're also talking about something like YouTube. He has created a very sustainable business model.
Absolutely.
He literally reacts
Mhm.
to stuff that his fans send in or viewers send in on Reddit, and it's awesome because it's like the content's always there. Like I'm not saying that he doesn't have to put a lot of thought into it or like a lot of creative, but it's really nice that it's like all done. Like he's not like I need to go buy like $1,000 in Nerf guns and like go do
Yeah.
this and go do that and shoot at this location. Like so, I'll just very
Plus it's
accessible.
interactive.
10
You know,
10 minutes.
yeah.
it
It's a
takes
direct
to
act.
film that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's self-sustainable. Like
Yeah.
he's created his own ecosystem now, which
Yes.
is interesting.
Yeah.
Reed, who you got?
So I skew more towards like high production value channels like Unbox Therapy. So I watch a lot of his stuff just because I like to stay up on like emerging technologies and new cell phones. And so that's the channel that I watch the most. I do watch Felix, obviously. And I do
Are you
watch
on a first name
Preston.
basis?
I do watch Preston. Wow, I got to call everyone by their YouTube.
I like Unbox
You
Therapy.
want me to call you Preston?
Do you know his name?
Unbox Therapy? I have
Yeah.
no idea. What's
You
his
don't
name?
Louis.
Louis. You're right. Yeah.
Fake
love-
fan, guys.
Oh,
Fake
okay.
fan.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
watching-
TVNR frags.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Funny
But yeah,
TVNR.
Justin,
I
who you
love
got?
that.
Me? Man, probably the guys I've been watching the longest on YouTube for, and I've become really good friends with these guys too. Is Mega64.
Okay.
I've been watching them since I was
Great content.
back in the day. And video game content, they do basically take video games and do them in real life in stupid situations. And those guys are really awesome. And yeah, I've been watching them for over a decade.
Good choice. Mine's like a tie between the completionist, Gerard. He takes video games and just beats the crap out of them in a week's time and tells you like everything that goes into them, how many deaths it took, but it's like a thorough walkthrough of like the latest game. So I really like him. And then Super Best Friends Play is another group. It's a group
Super
of guys.
best friends. What makes them super best friends
They-
instead of just best friends?
They're because they're super.
They wear capes.
Yeah.
Without the capes. No, it's a group of guys from Canada. They actually just broke up. They released the sad
Oh,
video
they're
after
not
like 10
super
years.
best
They're
friends.
not
Wow.
super best friends. The work tore them
Dang.
apart. They didn't have a good work-life balance.
It's important.
And that's
It
what
is.
it's all about.
Wow.
So
No more super besties.
sad face.
I'm going to go cry, honestly. It's such a sad note to end on. Oh,
Oh, thank you guys so much for coming on, man.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's
Super
been
fun.
It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully,
Super
you guys
fun
can come
best
back and
friends
join
time.
us again. We'll play some League of Legends. Yeah.
Give me that
okay.
hoodie.
No,
man.
no,
Yeah,
no.
you
I
want
need
this
that
No,
hoodie.
no.
It's pretty nice,
I
right?
need that. And everyone go cop your hoodie at Preston
There you
Styles.
go.
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah.
plug. The plug. Got to get the plugs in.
Yeah.
You guys got anything coming up?
Jeez, can I say? Yeah. So we're doing a 100 YouTuber. Actually, it's going to be more like 50 YouTuber battle royale in LA.
wow.
Apex Legends is sponsoring the event. We're going to do 2 games, trios. So 15 teams. Each team gets $100,000 if you win. Preston's playing with Unspeakable Gaming, and I believe Typical Gamer. Mr. Beast is putting on the event. So from like our point of view, like we pulled this together in 3 weeks. Beast and I. He called me up, gave me the concept. He's like, can we pull it off? I want to do it in March. So we got the venue, we got the production company, we got the brand. So it's going to be a big event. It'll be closed off to the public, of course, but the video will probably go up a week later, and hopefully Preston walks away with some cash.
That'll be
Very
fun.
nice. Very nice. We got some events coming up. We have the official watch party. Justin, you want to tell them about that?
Official watch party. What? Ultimate Weekend?
Ultimate Weekend. It could be a watch
It could
party.
be no, you're gonna. I guess you're gonna watch Overwatch teams in person play. So technically, you're still watching them.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, we've got Ultimate Weekend Dallas coming up April 27th to 28th. This is the biggest on the road Overwatch event that's ever happened. The first home games, 8 teams coming to Dallas, including, of course, Dallas Fuel, playing our only match against the Houston Outlaws for the season.
It's gonna be a big game.
Big game.
Big game. Lots of
begin-
banter.
yeah,
if you will.
keep
I'm
it up.
on there. I'm
Jay's
there.
Jay's leading our clapback squad
The clapbacks are strong
on
right now.
Twitter.
I got a folder like set aside for them. Yeah, it's gonna be.
I haven't played Overwatch in a while, but I was all about Zenyatta and Moira.
Okay.
I bet you
More
sucked.
support, but
I bet you were
You
bronze.
think I'm bad? No,
You
no,
told me-
I was plat. I was
You
plat.
told me in league you
I'm
were
plat.
silver.
I am silver, but I'm plat.
Hey, we can
no,
settle
no,
it
I'm
right.
not.
Hey,
I'm
we can
definitely not
settle
silver.
it right after
Yeah,
I get
step
through
away.
these church
Yeah,
announcements.
I'll go
Oh,
show
man.
you I'm plat in Overwatch.
We got CWL Fort Worth. Team MV's Call of Duty is competing at the next major CWL event here in Fort Worth on March 15th through 17th. That'll be at the convention center. We'll put information in the description below.
Yeah.
check it out.
And join us on the Envy Discord. If you didn't know, we have a Discord. Come talk to us.
It's a nice Discord.
It's fun.
Very family
times.
friendly.
Yeah. Super
Nice,
fun times.
pretty.
You want to talk
Yeah.
about this guy?
Oh yeah.
I like that
Squad.
though,
Oh,
for real.
we got merch. You guys have been asking about merch. We hear you. We know it's coming out. I can't tell you when. Just pay attention to our social.
So that's not available yet?
Not yet.
So how do I need to get my hands on that?
Yeah, we need one.
can't get you this.
I hope there's one in
You
the
can
office
take.
here.
You have to
Yeah,
literally
I might
take
have
it
to
off of
and I
Jay's
don't have a
body.
shirt underneath.
We can do that. We
Do
can
you
talk
wear?
about-
Do you wear
We'll fight.
hoodies without shirts underneath?
Absolutely.
Is that
Me too.
I feel
really?
constricted.
I
don't
usually
think
do
I've ever
too,
done
but-
that. I don't.
Constricted.
It's too much. It's too.
But I'm a zip up hoodie guy. I'm not a pullover.
You're not a
so maybe-
pullover? It's too thick with like a t-shirt and a hoodie on. It's
Huh.
too much.
Yeah, you gotta
It's
keep
interesting.
keep
It's
it
a lot,
breathable.
and it's nice out today.
I want to know about
Like,
you guys. Do you guys wear hoodies with no shirt underneath?
That's
let
not
us
weird.
let us know in the
It's
comments.
not weird at all.
What king's weird here?
Research.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you're listening to us on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify, or any other podcast service, it would mean the world to us if you left a review. That really helps us out. That helps you out. We get to give you the best quality content possible.
Also, don't forget to subscribe so you can get our next episode. Most importantly, do share this with somebody who you think would enjoy it. All those kids that want to become YouTube famous, this is the episode to watch, or even Twitch famous at this point in time too.
And if you have any suggestions on who you'd like to see next on the podcast, or if you want these guys to come back and talk more
Talk about different subjects.
PewDiePie.
Yeah.
What do you call him? PewDiePie?
Will
PewDiePie
a
Reed?
meme review podcast.
I mean,
Meme review podcast.
That's what,
If
that's
you
what
want
the
it,
world needed.
Leave it in the
Whoa.
comments. We can make it happen. I don't know how, but we're
That
gonna
could
do
be
it.
a weekly series. I made it just gave you
Let's
guys
do
your
it.
series right there.
We're good to go. Until next time, guys. Thanks for watching. This has been Q Up.